I've always been a huge fan of card game minigames in JRPGs. I still remember my very first playthrough of Digimon World 3 quite vividly. I never actually got to beat the game back then, cause I took a break from it while I was moving to a different place. And when I did get around to playing again, I kinda got lost because I had to talk to someone specific to trigger the next part of the story, and I couldn't figure out who I was supposed to talk to. So I ended up just wandering around for a very long time. But that turned out to be a whole lot of fun for me. You know why? Because Digimon World 3 had an absolutely brilliant card game inside it. As soon as I played my very first game of it, I was hooked. I couldn't tell you how much time I spent playing it right away. I completely forgot about the fact that I was supposed to save the world. I literally spent hours and hours just getting lost in it. Making decks, testing them out, refining them, and then making all new decks again. And of course, beating up Cardmon to get more booster packs was a good time too. I kicked so many trees that I'm sure my character had permanent leg damage by the end. I usually never have fun with fishing minigames in JRPGs, but I tell you what, I spent a long time fishing for that Cardmon. That feeling of opening some new booster packs was, just amazing. While I did eventually restart my playthrough, the fact that I was gonna lose all my cards was more devastating than having to play through the story all over again, even though I was well over halfway through the game before I got lost. But really, that card game still holds up really well, even today. Alright now, let's talk about Time Stranger. As I was going through the early game, I was not completely sold on the game yet. I know that every Digimon fan loves this game right now. I understand that, and I can respect that too. I was just not that enamored by the repetitive anime schoolgirl dialogue. It gave off way too many Persona vibes to me, and not in a good way. And there's just way too much dialogue to begin with. But I was gonna give this game a proper shot, no matter what. I was hoping it would grow on me, but even after a couple of boss fights, I was still waiting for it to hook me, to really get me to lose track of time while playing it. And then, I was randomly given a starter deck by some kid. Starter deck? Wait, is there a card game inside of Time Stranger? Boy, I tell you what, I was so excited. I had no idea about any of it. I had made sure that I went into this game completely blind, and I was so hyped right now. If you don't believe me, check out the live stream I did for Time Stranger. You'll be able to literally hear the excitement in my voice. Forget the main quest. I was ready to get lost in a card game. I had such high hopes, I'm not gonna lie. If they could make such an incredible card game in World 3 all those years ago, then I couldn't even imagine what kind of ingenious, addictive minigame they could have come up with for Time Stranger, one of the most hyped up Digimon games of all time, or perhaps the most hyped up Digimon game ever. Could it be an improvement over the World 3 game? A more modern, fleshed out version? That would be everything I've ever wanted. I couldn't wait, so I dropped everything and went looking for an opponent to play against. Forget about saving the world. It's time to duel. And it did not take too long to find one. This was it. Alright game, I was ready to be impressed. I was ready to be blown away. I was ready to be hooked. And then it turned out to be the worst card game I have ever played. I'm not kidding, I have played a ton of card games in my life, from Magic the Gathering, Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh! To obscure games like Card Fight Vanguard and the Tomb Raider card game even. To minigames within JRPGs like Triple Triad from Final Fantasy VIII, or even Spear Break in Final Fantasy X-2. I've experienced it all, and this is still the worst thing I've ever had the misfortune of playing. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's talk about this abomination. Let me try to explain how it goes. You are essentially given a hand of cards at the beginning of the battle. You and your opponent both play a card from your hands. The cards have no effects or anything like that. There are only two things that matter. The big number or level on the top left, and to a lesser degree, the symbol next to it. There's a rock, paper, scissors kind of thing going on with the symbols. And as for the numbers, bigger number is better, except when it comes to level 1s versus level 7s. In that case, for some bizarre nonsensical reason, the level 1s have a higher chance to win, so a baby can beat a mega level Digimon or something. Cause why not? After you select your cards, an automated battle plays out where one card wins somehow, and then you move on to the next round. That's it. That's all you do. You play the card, and the game plays things out for you, while you sit there and watch it happen. I guess you could watch a TikTok or something while the battles happen. I'm sure you could squeeze in at least one short video between each round. Anyway, let's talk strategy. You see, you have to try and ensure that you have the bigger number. The symbol is important too, but if you're playing the first card and your opponent has a variety of cards of different symbols in their hand, then you don't really know what they'll play, do you? The numbers though? Well, as they say, bigger is always better. Except for the weird 1 versus 7 thing. And I can already hear the wheels turning in your head. You're probably thinking, Editor Man, does that mean I should only have higher number Digimon in my deck? Well, that's a great question. But before I can answer that, we have to look at a different question first. What deck? You see, while the game did make me think that there was some kind of deck that I could build to my liking, that isn't a thing. The cards you begin the game with go into a collection. Your collection, as the name would suggest, keeps track of all the cards you've acquired so far. And there are a lot of cards in this game, 451 to be exact. And the cards you draw at the beginning of any duel are apparently randomly drawn from your entire freaking collection. That's right, if you happen to have 200 cards, well, you'll get 5 of them. Is there a pattern to which cards you get? I haven't seen anything so far that would make me think that. It all seems pretty random. And that right there is the fundamental keyword around which this entire stupid thing revolves. Randomness. As soon as you say yes to a card battle, you are at the mercy of RNG. Even if you have the greater power, you might still lose. Even if you have the greater power and the symbol advantage, you might still lose. Or your opponent could be on the receiving end of bad RNG. The BS works both ways. The numbers and symbols only appear to increase or decrease the potential chance that a Digimon has of winning. Nothing really guarantees anything. Imagine that you are rolling a die, and the numbers and symbols only add or subtract from the number you roll. If you roll high enough, you'll win no matter what. And if you roll low enough, well then you lose no matter what. As for the enemy AI, what AI? They appear to play random cards from their hand, regardless of whether they go first or second. Or maybe there are some epic 5D chess moves in there that I simply haven't been able to comprehend, but I doubt that. This game, and I don't even feel comfortable calling this a game anymore, is played over 5 rounds. Even if you don't win the greater number of rounds, you'll still get to win some cards at the end and add them to your collection. Isn't that just great? You could pick the higher number cards or the lower number ones. Why would you ever want to pick the lower numbers? Well, it could be because you want a certain specific card. Because there is one element of this game that I haven't talked about yet. Fusion, or whatever the hell the game wants to call it. Yes, having certain cards in your hand together will allow you to summon a brand new card, somehow. The cards that are used are not gone. And the card you get might be weaker or stronger, or even just as strong as the materials that you used. It's random. In fact, I noticed that using the same cards in a fusion can result in different cards being summoned. Most of the time, the tiny battles on the screen only happen once, but sometimes the Digimon that went down gets back up and battles again. That's also random, I think. So that's what it basically boils down to. You play a card and you might win, or not. It's not really up to you. Sometimes you'll get a fusion and get a new card, or an old card. That's not really up to you either. Like real life, you may be able to influence certain decisions, but in the grand scheme of things, you don't have any control whatsoever. I played, or I suppose the more accurate word would be suffered, through this gameplay just to see if something changes, to make sure I give it a proper shot before making any judgments. But no, it's as stupid as it appeared to be at first glance. And the one thing I can't really wrap my head around is this. Who the diddly is this for? I really don't get it. It's so freaking dumb. And allow me to address some points that I am sure many people will be making in the comment section. Number 1, this isn't actually a card game as such. It's more like the Digimon Wii Pets or something. And to that I say, the game literally calls it a card game. So I'm gonna judge it as a card game. We get a starter deck for heaven's sake. And to me, nothing excuses the absolute trash tier game design anyway. Number 2. Oh, they didn't put any real effort into it. It's just a basic minigame that they came up with last minute. Okay, I absolutely loathe excuses like that. It's garbage because they decided to not put in any effort. Dang, that makes everything alright, huh? I just don't understand the design philosophy here. Were they afraid of making a minigame that would be too complex? Or were they afraid of making something that, God forbid, people might actually find fun? The latter makes more sense to me, to be honest with you. I really don't think they cared about complexity, cause the actual game is pretty dang complex when you take even a cursory glance at the Digimon. There are talents, bonds, attribute resistance, elemental resistance, personality and personality skill. There's so much going on here. I can't even wrap my head around most of it. So instead of giving people a fun, interesting card game, they gave us something that's not really even a game as such. It's press X to proceed, essentially. I can be understanding of a lot of things. I'm sure there are many people out there who love the repetitive anime schoolgirl dialogue and other stuff. Sure, I get it. But this makes me sick. They got it right over 20 years ago. Why not just build on something great that was already there? Even the digital card battle game on the PS1 is in an entirely different league compared to this. And really, the rules of that game could have easily been implemented as a minigame in a modern game in this day and age. It's not complicated and it's still fun. Not as fun as the World 3 card game, but still. It just feels like such an unnecessary missed opportunity. As weird as it may sound at this point, I've been rooting for Time Stranger. I do want it to be successful. I'm just saying that an amazing card game minigame would have elevated the overall game by some measure. Look at GWENT and the Witcher franchise. Having a highly addictive yet still intuitive card game turned out to be a really good thing over there. And look at how fondly remembered Triple Triad is. But no, we can't have anything like those games, because fun is a bad thing apparently. No, let's have even more ways to grind our Digimon to even bigger numbers instead. I know there will be many people who will defend this minigame, but I'm pretty sure they'll defend any and every aspect of Time Stranger. Hey, I get it. For many, it's their favorite Digimon game of all time. Not that there have been many modern Digimon games in the first place, so the fanboyism is kinda expected. Who knows, maybe the card game gets really good near the end of the main game, or something. But this is how I feel. Imagine you're really hungry for a burger, and you hear about a new burger place, so you rush over there. The burgers look pretty good, but as soon as you take the first bite, it makes you want to throw up. Maybe the last bite actually does pack some real flavor or something. I'll never know, cause I'm not gonna eat the rest of that burger. I'm throwing it away, right into the trash where it belongs. I'll still play the main game for Time Stranger, but I'll never touch this mini game again, that's for sure. Ever since I've touched it, I think I've become stranger, and I want the time that I wasted on it back. If you do happen to enjoy this minigame somehow, then more power to you, my friend. My feelings and opinions don't have to be yours too. As for me though, I'm gonna go take a nap and try to forget everything about it. So that's it for me today. Thank you everybody for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Bye bye.